What did you want to know about football, Texas, and the grit it took for your character, who's a real dude, to deliver Mike Flynt to movie audiences?
Well, listen, I grew up loving football. I was the captain of my football team in high
Oh,
school.
okay.
And you hear stories about Texas football, and what you realize is Texas is to football as Canada is to hockey. Um, it's their sport. You know what I mean? It's their pastime, really, in an intense way. The first inkling I had of that was day one. Went to this stadium to shoot, and it's this huge, like 10, 15,000 seat stadium. And I go, wow, what university is this? And they went, this is a junior high school. Like, what? Uh,
Wow.
Seriously? I know things are bigger in Texas, but like, do you get enough people here? They were like full every Friday. I'm like, what? Like, it's a familial thing. It's like the culture comes together. So you really realize, wow, this is different. They're into it. It's like a
Cool.
religion. Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah.
Now, you famously altered your image in the early 2000s by slimming down and going full action hero mode. What was different about the workout regimen for the senior than the challenges you had before?
Well, I'm 59. Well, I was 59, and now I'm 62. I was 59 when I made this movie.
Yeah.
And, that's just different. On top of it, I was coming off of playing Red Auerbach in the Winning Time series. So I was playing this cigar smoking, cocktail drinking, heavy set, 70 something year old guy. So I really had to turn it on. And, your body just doesn't respond as quickly. But also, recovery is difficult. And then there was the added thing of like, it's football. I mean, I hadn't played tackle football since for 40 years.
Yeah.
And again, I was the captain of my football team, but man, oh, when you first start pounding into guys, you're like, what am I doing? Well, like, oh my God, I've made a terrible mistake. you know. But man, it's at the same time, it was exhilarating and
Sure.
challenging
Yeah.
and thrilling.
That's great. Okay. The
Yeah.
the senior focuses on the relationship between father and sons in different generations. Since you were born approximately in the same 1960s era as I was, I'm a couple years older. What do you think characterizes the dads that we had growing up, and how do you tap that for the father-son elements of the senior?
Well, I was really fortunate that my father, was much more communicative than most, and I was surrounded by friends who had stoic fathers who were hard, and he was more like my grandfather. My grandfather was a stoic and a mason, and his hands were as hard as stone, and he just didn't speak about feelings or any of that. My father was a tough guy too, but at least, he was more communicative than
Yeah,
most. But I think that that was a common line with a lot of guys.
yeah,
You were taught to sit on things, to hold things in, and particularly anything that you did wrong, you were supposed to learn from them and move on. But they didn't talk to you about, how to process regret or, any of that. So I think that that's a big theme in this movie that we all have regrets. We all have things that we face palm about when we were younger and that we wish we had done differently or said differently.
right.
And instead of torturing ourselves with these things, you're supposed to look at them, learn from them, glean what you're supposed to glean from them, and move on. And there is redemption, and you can't change the past, but you can change the meaning of the past. And that's exactly what Mike Flynt wanted to do when he went down there to Texas to really to initially he was just going down there to apologize to the team that he felt that he really let down.
Right,
See, he was the captain of his college football team,
right.
and in the first week of senior year, they were supposed to be an undefeated team that year. And he
Yeah,
got in a fight with one of the freshmen who was out of the dorms after hours, telling him to get back in. He refused. They threw down. He broke his nose. He was thrown out of school and off the team. And he lived with that regret his whole life. He hated it. It just really bothered him that mainly because he let his team down. Again, he felt like he ruined their senior year, you know what I mean? And he always wanted to apologize. So he went down there really to apologize at a reunion that he thought he was invited to in error. But it turns out his wife was behind it, and they had reached out to her, and she said, "No, you go down there and you say you're sorry and get this off your back." Yeah. Unbeknownst to her, she didn't know that he found out that he was eligible to play his senior year, right. And only Mike Flynt would go like, "Yeah, I'm going to try to do that."
That's great.
It's crazy. It's a crazy, amazing story.
It really is. It
yeah.
Really is.
Mike, his father was a World War II vet, and he had PTSD. He lost his leg in the Battle of the Bulge.
Oh yeah,
so he revisited a lot of his violence on his son. Now they reconciled. It's not in the picture. They did reconcile when his father was older, and his father, found peace in his heart, which is a beautiful thing. It's hard to imagine what it would be like to live under that strain, and his father definitely found redemption in his life. But it was important for Mike to exorcise the demons that he had on his shoulder, and sure. It's just, again, it's that kind of a tale. It's about redemption and second chances, and it's set in a football movie, which we all love. I'm sorry. I grew up watching movies like, Miracle, which our producer, Mark Ciardi, produced.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the late, great Robert Redford in The Natural, things like this. So I got to do that and play football at 59. It was
not to mention Friday Night Lights, which I think is one of the greatest football movies ever made. So.
Oh, by the way, Mike Flynt was the captain of that team in Odessa Premier.
Oh my God!
Yeah, which is a big
what a connection.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, so he goes from being a football star that they base Friday Night Lights on.
Crazy.
Well, he didn't know then that was going to happen.
Right.
He ends up shifting over to Sol Ross, big feeder of it, and then this happens to him. So it really is kind of special, all of it. Yeah.
Well, one of the things I wanted to talk about, what struck me also about the senior, was its authenticity of football and the emotions surrounding the game, and there was nothing too rah-rah about it. So what impressed you about the script in that sense, and how did you want to honor it?
Well, I love that you asked this question because it's so true. There's a humility in this script, an authenticity, that it wasn't all like sensationalized and everything. A lot of films say this is based on a true story.
Yeah.
This is a true story. And you can tell in the humility of it. Yeah. And he made a difference, and also his reconciliation with his own son. Yeah. It's definitely the reconciliation of father, son, and being able to find each other.
In the film, you gave one of the finest halftime fire-up speeches to your team that I've ever seen. What, if anything, did you contribute to that speech, and how does it completely and truthfully fit with the character and how you delivered it?
Patrick, is it?
Yeah.
Patrick, I love the questions you're asking because you're really on it. If I was intimidated or worried about any part of this movie, it was that. Because it's the ultimate trope, right?
Yeah, right.
Halftime speech. I'm thinking, oh my God, really? Now, granted, Rod Lurie, actually, Isley did a great job writing this script, but Rod did some rewrites and added some things, and he wrote that halftime speech.
Amazing.
And it on paper was wonderful. But I was, like, really? I'm going to do a halftime speech? Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And Rod did another great thing as a director. Intelligently, they scheduled that for like the second to last day of shooting. So I had already been through this odyssey with this team, all the bumps and bruises and everything. So well, by the time I actually delivered that speech, I was fully bonded with these young men, and we had we had such a phenomenal rapport. And I just let it drop. I was just like, I just need to just come from the most truthful place that I can with this thing.
This is Patrick McDonald for HollywoodChicago.com. Copyright 2025.